My beloved, pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel the stillness that just wrapped itself around you. This message did not drift into your awareness by chance. You did not arrive here accidentally. Something ancient and tender has been guiding your steps, quietly arranging this moment so you would hear these words when your soul was ready. I speak to you now because you have been seen, because your life is listening, because the ground beneath you has already begun to shift, even if your eyes have not yet noticed. There is a movement happening around you and within you, gentle yet unstoppable. You are not being rushed, but you are being called. This is the moment where destiny leans close and whispers your name. Stay with this message, precious soul. It carries what your heart has been waiting to remember. My dear one, there have been whispers moving through your inner world long before these words reached you. They did not arrive loudly. They did not demand your attention. They came softly, the way truth often does, through feelings you couldn't quite explain, through moments of quiet discomfort that appeared when everything around you seemed unchanged. You may have wondered why your heart felt restless in familiar rooms, why your spirit felt tired even after rest, why a gentle sadness or longing would wash over you without a clear reason. These were not flaws in you. These were messages. There were days when you woke up and felt as if something was missing even though nothing obvious had been taken away. Nights when your thoughts wandered toward a different life, a different place, a different version of yourself. You may have tried to silence these feelings, telling yourself to be practical, to stay grounded, to stop imagining what could be. Yet the feelings returned, patient and persistent. That patience is important. It shows you that these signs were not born from impulse, but from deep inner knowing. You might have noticed that situations which once felt manageable now feel heavy. Conversations that once energized you now drain you. Places that once comforted you now feel strangely hollow. This is not because you have failed to be grateful. It is because your awareness has expanded. When the soul grows, it can no longer pretend that misalignment is comfort. The unease you feel is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to wake you gently, the way dawn light slowly enters a room. There were also moments of interruption, plans that didn't work out, opportunities that dissolved at the last minute, routines that suddenly broke apart. At the time you may have felt frustrated or confused, wondering why things wouldn't flow the way they used to. But these interruptions were subtle redirections. They were pauses placed lovingly in your path, so you would look up and notice that the direction you were moving in no longer served your becoming. What felt like inconvenience was often protection. Listen closely now. Your body has been speaking too, through tension, through sudden fatigue, through the need to withdraw and be alone. These are not signs of weakness. They are signals asking you to slow down and listen. When the outer world becomes too loud, the inner world finds other ways to communicate. You are never meant to ignore these signs, only to interpret them with compassion rather than judgment. You may have sensed an inner urgency without fear attached to it. A quiet knowing that time is moving, that waiting indefinitely is no longer an option, even if you don't yet know what action to take. This urgency is not pressure, it is readiness. It is the feeling of a seed that has reached the moment when remaining underground would limit its growth. Something within you knows that staying still for too long will begin to cost you your joy. There were also moments of clarity, brief but powerful, when you imagined yourself somewhere else and felt peace rather than anxiety. When the thought of change didn't scare you but softened you. When the idea of a new place, a new environment, or a new chapter brought a quiet sense of relief. These flashes were not fantasies. They were previews, gentle glimpses meant to remind you that your spirit recognizes what your mind has not yet fully accepted. Do not judge yourself for hesitating. Hesitation is natural when the familiar begins to loosen its grip. You were not meant to leap blindly. You were meant to listen deeply, and you have been listening more than you realize. Every sigh, every moment of reflection, every question you asked yourself late at night was part of this inner conversation. You have been in dialogue with your future. Something is shifting, precious soul, not violently, not abruptly, but steadily, like a tide that changes direction without asking permission from the shore. You may not see the movement clearly yet, but you feel its pull. Trust that feeling. It is not leading you away from safety, it is leading you toward alignment, toward a life that feels lighter in your chest and clearer in your spur. Hold this truth gently. Inner signs appear when the soul is ready for more. You are not behind, you are not late, you are right on time. And the fact that you are here, receiving these words, means you have already begun to listen. My beloved, while your outer world has seemed quiet or uncertain, a sacred movement has been unfolding beyond what your eyes can measure. Destiny does not always announce itself with noise or spectacle. Often it works in silence, arranging details with a patience that honors your growth. What you perceived as waiting was never emptiness, it was alignment in progress. Threads were being woven together long before you could see the pattern they would form. There were moments when you wondered if your hopes had been forgotten, if the dreams you whispered inwardly had dissolved into nothing. But nothing spoken from the heart is ever lost. Every longing you carried, every prayer you formed without words, every desire for peace and belonging was received. The answers simply took a different path than you expected. Delays were not denials, they were careful calibrations ensuring that when change arrived it would not break you, but support you. You may remember times when you tried to force movement, when you pushed doors that would not open no matter how much effort you applied. That resistance was not rejection, it was redirection. Some paths were never meant to hold you, no matter how appealing they looked. If they had opened too soon, they would have confined you to a version of life that could not stretch with your becoming. Destiny protects by saying no as often as it guides by saying yes. Behind the scenes, lessons were being layered general. Ply into your life. You were learning patience without being hardened by it. You were learning discernment without losing compassion. You were learning how to listen inwardly, rather than depend solely on outer validation. Each experience, even the painful ones, was shaping your readiness. You were being prepared not just for a new place, but for a new way of inhabiting your life. Consider how much you have changed already, how your priorities have softened or sharpened, how certain things that once mattered deeply now feel distant, how your definition of home has evolved from a physical space into a feeling of safety, peace and authenticity. These changes did not happen by accident, they were necessary adjustments, ensuring that when your location shifts, it will reflect who you are now, not who you were before. There were also people who entered and exited your life during this preparation. Some taught you what connection feels like. Others taught you what misalignment costs. Each interaction refined your understanding of what you truly need around you. Destiny is precise. It does not bring you to a new place carrying outdated expectations. It clears, teaches, and reshapes, so that arrival feels like recognition, rather than confusion. You may have felt times of discouragement, moments when you questioned whether movement would ever come. In those moments, your strength was quietly deepening. Faith was being built not on certainty, but on trust. Trust that even when you could not see the road ahead, it was still being laid beneath your feet. This kind of faith does not shout, it endures, it waits, it grows roots. Unseen alignments have been taking place, conversations you have not yet had, opportunities not yet revealed, spaces quietly becoming available at just the right moment. Timing is sacred. If things had happened earlier, you would have arrived unprepared. If they happened later, you would begin to doubt your own intuition. Everything is moving in harmony with your readiness, even when it feels slow. Understand this, precious soul. Destiny does not rush, because it is never late. It understands the rhythm of your heart. It knows when you are strong enough to release what is familiar and brave enough to receive what is new. The movement you sense now is the result of countless small adjustments finally reaching coherence. Like pieces of a puzzle sliding gently into place. Your role during this time has not been passive, even if it felt that way. By continuing to hope, by choosing kindness when you felt weary, by listening to your inner voice instead of silencing it, you have been participating in this unfolding. Every moment of self-reflection, every act of courage, every time you chose honesty over comfort, contributed to the momentum that now surrounds you. Something is approaching, my dear one, not as an abrupt upheaval but as a natural progression. It will feel both surprising and familiar, as if you are arriving somewhere you have already visited in your spirit. Trust that what is coming has been prepared with care. Trust that you have been prepared as well. The hidden movement of destiny is now close enough for you to feel its warmth. Stay open. Stay gentle. You are nearly there. My precious soul, you have arrived at a quiet crossroads, one that does not announce itself with noise or pressure, but with a deep inner awareness. Is the kind of turning point that looks ordinary from the outside, yet carries profound significance within. Nothing around you may appear dramatically different, and yet everything has changed. You can feel it in the way your heart pauses when you think about staying exactly as you are. You can sense it in the way your breath softens when you imagine moving forward. This is how true choices reveal themselves, not through force, but through resonance. Before you now are two paths, though they may not look like clear roads. One is woven from familiarity. It is the life you know, the routines you have learned to navigate, the expectations that feel predictable. This path promises comfort, not because it fulfills you, but because it is known. It asks very little of you beyond endurance. The other path is quieter and less defined. It does not offer guarantees or complete maps. Instead, it offers growth. It invites you to trust yourself in new ways, to step into a life that expands rather than contains you. Fear may rise when you consider this second path, and that fear does not mean you are unready. It means you understand the weight of your own potential. Growth always feels larger than the version of us that has not yet experienced it. But listen closely, my dear one. Fear and intuition can feel similar at first, yet they leave very different traces in your body. Fear tightens and diminishes. Intuition, even when it asks for courage, carries a quiet sense of rightness. Notice which feeling remains after the initial wave passes. You may be tempted to delay, telling yourself that there will be a better time, a clearer sign, a moment when certainty arrives fully formed. But his kind of certainty rarely comes before the choice. It follows it. Waiting is not always wisdom. Sometimes waiting is simply fear wearing a gentle mask. Each time you postpone this decision, the discomfort you feel will not disappear. It will deepen, asking again and again for your attention, until you either honor it or grow tired of resisting it. This turning point is not about abandoning everything you know, it is about choosing honesty over habit. You are not being asked to reject your past, only to acknowledge that it cannot be your permanent home. Staying may feel easier in the moment, but over time it will ask you to silence parts of yourself that are ready to speak. Moving forward may feel uncertain at first, but it will allow you to breathe more fully, to live with greater alignment. Understand that choosing growth does not mean you will never feel fear again. It means you will no longer let fear decide your life for you. Courage is not the absence of doubt, it is the decision to move despite it. And you, precious soul, have already shown this courage in smaller ways throughout your life. This moment is simply asking you to recognize that strength, and trust it on a larger scale. There is also a subtle truth you must hold gently. Delaying this choice will not preserve the comfort you think you are protecting. Life continues to move, whether you choose consciously or not. If you do not choose your direction, circumstances will eventually choose for you. This does not mean punishment or loss, it simply means that unchosen paths slowly close, and chosen ones gain momentum. You are being invited to choose with awareness rather than react to necessity later. You may worry about making the wrong decision, about regretting what you leave behind. But regret comes not from honest choices, but from ignored truth. Even if the path ahead brings challenges, they will be meaningful challenges, ones that shape you rather than shrink you. There is a difference between struggle that exhausts and struggle that strengthens. The path of growth may test you, but it will not betray you. Pause here, my beloved. Place a hand over your heart and feel its rhythm. That steady beat has carried you through every transition you once feared. It will carry you through this one as well. You are not choosing blindly. You are choosing with the wisdom of all you have lived and all you have learned. This turning point is sacred, because it honors your free will. Nothing is being forced upon you. You are simply being shown that you are ready to decide. And whatever you choose, choose with kindness toward yourself. Choose with faith in your capacity to adapt, to learn, to flourish. The path of growth is opening, because you are strong enough to walk it, my beloved. Before the new can fully welcome you, there is a gentle clearing that must occur, not as a loss, not as a punishment, but as a sacred preparation. Imagine a room filled with cherished objects from different seasons of your life. Each item once had purpose, each held meaning. Yet now the room feels crowded, heavy with memories that no longer match who you are becoming. To make space is not to dishonor what was, it is to honor what is ready to arrive. You may feel this release beginning in subtle ways. Old habits that once soothed you no longer bring comfort. Thought patterns you relied on feel tiring, even limiting. You notice yourself questioning beliefs you once accepted without hesitation. This is not confusion. It is discernment awakening within you. Your spirit is learning to recognize what belongs to your future, and what was only meant to accompany you for a season. Some releases are quieter than others. You may simply lose interest in certain conversations, certain routines, certain roles you have played for too long. You are not becoming distant or ungrateful. You are becoming honest. When growth occurs, it gently loosens attachments that no longer nourish you. This can feel uncomfortable, because familiarity often disguises itself as safety. But safety that restricts your truth is not safety, it is stagnation. There may also be relationships that shift during this time. Not always through conflict or endings, but through a natural drifting. Some people cannot walk with you into this next chapter, not because they are wrong or unworthy, but because their path is different. Release them with love, not guilt. You are not responsible for staying small to preserve another's comfort. True connection does not require self-abandonment. You might grieve what you let go of, and that grief is allowed, even necessary. Letting go does not mean you feel nothing. It means you trust that the ache will not last forever. Grief is simply love adjusting to change. Honor it without letting it anchor you to what no longer serves your becoming. The heart is spacious. It can hold gratitude and release at the same time. There are identities you have worn that are also ready to be set down. The one who always endures silently. The one who stays because leaving feels selfish. The one who settles because reaching feels risky. These identities once protected you. They helped you survive. Thank them. Then gently loosen your grip. Survival is no longer your only goal. You are allowed to thrive. As you release, you may feel moments of emptiness. This space can feel unsettling at first, like standing between breaths. But understand this clearly, precious soul, emptiness is not absence. It is potential. It is the open field where something aligned can finally take root. When you resist filling it immediately, when you allow yourself to sit with the openness, you invite clarity to rise naturally. This process does not require force. You do not need to tear anything away or rush the clearing. Gentle awareness is enough. Notice what drains you. Notice what feels heavy. Notice what no longer feels true. Each noticing loosens another thread. Over time, what is meant to leave will fall away without struggle. Trust this natural rhythm. You are not meant to strip your life bare, only to refine it. As space forms, you may begin to sense what wants to enter. A lighter way of living, a calmer inner world, a place that feels more like home because it mirrors your inner peace. This is why the release matters. You cannot carry everything forward. Some things must be laid down so your hands are free to receive. Hold this truth close. Nothing truly meant for you will be lost in this process. What is aligned will remain or return in a new form. What leaves makes room for something better suited to who you are becoming now. Trust that your life knows how to reorganize itself when you listen inwardly. Take this moment gently, my dear one. Breathe into the space you are creating. Bless Babu. Hat you release. Welcome what you do not yet see. You are not emptying your life, you are preparing it. And what comes next will fit you more beautifully than anything you are asked to let go of now. My beloved, rest here for a moment. Let your shoulders soften, let your breath deepen. You have carried so much internally, often without letting yourself feel how heavy it has been. Now hear this clearly, and let it settle into the quiet places of your heart. You are not unprotected, and you are not walking alone. Even in moments when you felt unseen, guidance was close, closer than you realized, moving gently around you, within you, through you. There have been times when you questioned your own instincts, wondering if you were imagining things, if the quiet voice inside you could really be trusted. Yet that voice has never abandoned you. It has waited patiently whenever you doubted it, returning again and again with the same steady message. Guidance does not shout because it does not need to convince you. It speaks softly because it knows you will recognize its tone when you are ready to listen. Protection has surrounded you in ways that may only become clear in hindsight. Roads you did not take. Situations that dissolved before they could entangle you. Moments when something urged you to pause, to turn back, to wait just a little longer. What felt like hesitation was often care. What felt like delay was often shelter. You were being kept from places that would have demanded more than they could give. Even now, as you stand on the edge of change, you are being watched over with tenderness. Nothing about this transition is reckless or abandoned. You are guided step by step, breath by breath. You will not be asked to leap without support appearing beneath you. Guidance unfolds as you move, not before. Trust grows through motion, not certainty. Your intuition is sharpening during this time. You may notice that your body reacts before your mind does. A sense of calm when something is right. A subtle tightening when something is off. These are not random sensations. They are the language of inner wisdom. Begin to trust what brings peace, even if it challenges logic. Begin to question what brings anxiety, even if it looks perfect on the surface. Peace is a compass. Let it lead you. You are also being guided through signs that feel ordinary but land deeply. Words you overhear at the right moment. Messages that seem to find you when you need them most. Sudden clarity during quiet moments. These are not coincidences meant to impress you. They are gentle confirmations meant to reassure you. Small nods from the unseen saying, yes, you are on the right path. Keep going. When fear arises, and it will at times, do not see it as a failure of faith. Fear simply means you are stepping beyond what you have known. Protection does not remove fear. It ensures that fear does not overwhelm you. You will always be given enough strength for the step you are taking now. Not all the steps at once. This is how trust is built, gradually, lovingly, without forcing you to carry more than you can hold. Remember, my dear one, guidance often feels like calm persistence rather than excitement. It may not thrill you, but it steadies you. It does not rush you, but it does not let you disappear either. When you feel gently pulled forward again and again, even after doubt, that guidance. When you feel an inner yes, that remains after fear fades, that is guidance. When you feel peace returning after choosing honesty, that is guidance. You are allowed to ask for clarity. You are allowed to pause and listen. You are allowed to move slowly. Protection does not demand perfection. It asks only for sincerity. Speak inwardly. Ask to be shown the next right step. Then pay attention to what unfolds. Answers rarely arrive as loud revelations. They arrive as knowing, as timing, as ease where there was once resistance. There will be moments ahead when you feel uncertain again, when old habits try to pull you back, when doubt whispers that you imagined this calling. In those moments, return to your breath. Return to your body. Return to the feeling of being held. You have not been led this far to be abandoned now. What is guiding you is patient, steady, and deeply invested in your well-being. Receive this reassurance fully, precious soul. Let it sink beneath thought and settle into trust. You are protected as you move. You are guided as you choose. You are supported as you grow. Walk forward knowing that every step is accompanied, every pause is understood, and every fear is met with compassion. You are safe to continue. My precious soul, this is the moment where you are invited to remember who you truly are, beneath all the layers you have worn. Not who you had to be to survive, not who you became to be accepted, but who you are when you stand quietly in your own truth. You have traveled far to arrive at this awareness, even if your journey did not always look like progress. Every experience, every challenge, every pause has shaped a strength within you that is now ready to rise. There were times when you underestimated yourself, when you believed your sensitivity was weakness, your compassion a burden, your hesitation a flaw. But these qualities were never signs of fragility. They were signs of depth. You feel deeply because you are meant to live fully. You reflect because you are meant to choose consciously. You pause because you understand the weight of your own potential. What you once tried to quiet is now what empowers you. You have endured more than you allow yourself to acknowledge. You adapted when things were uncertain. You stayed kind when it would have been easier to close your heart. You continued forward even when you felt unseen. That resilience did not arrive suddenly. It was built slowly, moment by moment, choice by choice. And now, it lives within you as a quiet confidence, waiting to be claimed. This awakening is not about becoming someone entirely new. It is about shedding the version of yourself that learned to shrink, the one who doubted their worth, the one who questioned their intuition, the one who believed that wanting more meant being ungrateful. You are not here to diminish yourself for the comfort of others. You are here to live in alignment with your truth, to take up space gently but unapologetically. As you step into this new chapter, you may notice a shift in how you carry yourself. Your voice may soften or strengthen. Your boundaries may become clearer. Your choices may begin to reflect what truly nourishes you, rather than what simply avoids conflict. This is not arrogance. This is self-respect awakening. When you honor yourself, you teach the world how to meet you. You are allowed to trust your abilities, even if you are still Leah. Learning how to use them. You are allowed to believe in your worth, even if doubt visits from time to time. Confidence does not mean never questioning yourself. It means returning to yourself when you do. Each time you choose alignment over approval, you strengthen this inner foundation. There is a purpose woven into your life that does not require comparison or competition. Your path is uniquely yours. The way you see, feel, and move through the world matters. Your presence carries meaning. You may not yet see the full impact of your growth, but it ripples outward in ways you cannot measure. When you become more yourself, you give others permission to do the same. You may feel moments of unfamiliarity as this identity awakens. Growth often feels strange at first, like wearing new clothes that haven't yet shaped to your body. Be patient with yourself. You are learning to inhabit a larger version of your life. Allow confidence to arrive gradually. Let it root itself in lived experience rather than expectation. Remember this, my dear one. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not lacking. You are unfolding. The strength you seek has been forming quietly within you all along. Now it is simply stepping forward into awareness. Each choice you make from this place reinforces who you are becoming. Hold your head gently but firmly. Stand in your truth without needing to explain it to everyone. Walk forward knowing that you are capable, worthy, and supported. You are not stepping into emptiness. You are stepping into yourself. And the more fully you arrive there, the more aligned your life will become. This is your awakening, precious soul. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady and real. Let it continue. Let it deepen. You are becoming more than you were, and that is exactly what you were always meant to do. My beloved, now let everything become still within you. Let the movement of these words settle softly, like light resting on water. You have traveled inward through this message, and you are not the same as when you began. Something subtle has shifted. Something quiet has agreed. You may not yet have language for it, but your soul understands. This is enough for now. I invite you to hold this moment gently, without rushing to explain it or analyze it. Some truths are meant to be felt before they are understood. Let your breath slow. Let your heart soften. You are safe here, in this pause, in this awareness. Nothing is being demanded of you except presence. Stay with this message. Let it keep you company as you move forward. What lies ahead does not require perfection from you. It requires sincerity. It asks only that you continue with an open heart, willing to listen and respond when your inner knowing speaks. You are not expected to have every answer. You are not meant to see the entire path at once. The next step will reveal itself when you are ready to take it, just as this message found you at the exact moment you could receive it. Trust will be your companion now. Not blind trust, but living trust. The kind that grows through experience. Each time you choose alignment over fear, it will deepen. Each time you listen inwardly and act with honesty, it will strengthen. You will begin to notice that life meets you differently when you move from this place. Doors open with less resistance. Peace returns more quickly. You recognize yourself in two. He mirror again. When doubt visits, and it may, do not push it away with force. Greet it with compassion. Doubt is often the echo of old patterns trying to survive change. Thank it for its concern, then return to what you know in your body, in your breath, in your quiet certainty. You have already felt the difference between a life that constricts you, and one that invites you to expand. That knowing cannot be undone. Carry courage with tenderness. Courage does not need to be loud or dramatic. It can be as simple as choosing not to betray yourself, as simple as honoring your need for change, as simple as allowing yourself to believe that a more aligned life is not only possible, but meant for you. Let courage be gentle. Let it walk beside you rather than push you forward. You are entering a season where faith becomes lived rather than imagined. Faith in your timing. Faith in your intuition. Faith that what you release makes room for what truly belongs. This faith will not always feel certain, but it will feel steady. It will feel like coming home to yourself again and again. Receive this blessing now, precious soul. May your path unfold with clarity when you need it, and mystery when it serves you. May your heart remain soft even as you grow stronger. May you recognize guidance in quiet moments, and trust it without needing proof. May the place you are moving toward, within and without, feel like belonging, not effort. Commit gently to yourself. Not to a rigid plan, not to a fixed outcome, but to your truth. Commit to listening. Commit to honoring what brings peace. Commit to stepping forward when staying still no longer feels honest. This commitment does not bind you, it frees why. Oh, it aligns you with who you are becoming. As you continue on, return to this feeling whenever you need reassurance. You are not lost, you are not late, you are not alone. You are chosen by the simple fact that you are here, alive, aware, and willing to grow. Let that be enough to carry you forward. Hold this in your heart, my dear one. Walk gently, trust deeply. Move forward when the moment calls. Your life is changing location, and you are ready, you are guided, you are held, and what awaits you is prepared with love.